It was a serene evening as Flight 392 prepared for takeoff from Los Angeles to Tokyo. The passengers in first class were seated, enjoying the luxury of plush seats and champagne. Among them was Elon Musk, the enigmatic tech billionaire known for his visionary endeavors. Musk had boarded discreetly, his usual preference for avoiding unnecessary attention intact. Dressed in casual attire, Elon had taken a seat by the window, a tablet in hand, browsing through emails and diagrams of his latest project. He was deep in thought, barely noticing the activity around him. The other first-class passengers exchanged glances, some whispering to one another about the presence of the world-renowned entrepreneur in their midst. The flight attendants had begun their pre-flight routines, ensuring that all passengers were comfortable and familiar with the safety procedures. Among them was Jennifer, a seasoned flight attendant in her early 30s. She was known for her professionalism and calm demeanor. But today, something seemed off about her. Her colleagues noticed her distracted behavior, the slight tremble in her hands as she poured drinks, and the way her eyes lingered on Musk for longer than usual. As the plane took off and ascended to cruising altitude, the cabin settled into a tranquil atmosphere. Most passengers in first class reclined their seats, preparing for the long-haul journey ahead. Elon continued to work on his tablet, occasionally sipping on a glass of sparkling water. Jennifer approached his seat with a forced smile. "Mr. Musk, can I get you anything else?" she asked, her voice slightly strained. Elon glanced up briefly and shook his head. "No, thank you. I'm fine," he replied, returning to his work. What happened next would leave everyone stunned. Without warning, Jennifer's demeanor shifted. She leaned closer to Musk and, in a barely audible whisper, said, "You think you're untouchable, don't you?" Elon, taken aback, looked up at her, confusion clouding his features. "Excuse me?" he asked, unsure if he had heard her correctly. Before he could process what was happening, Jennifer abruptly reached for his tablet and yanked it from his hands. The suddenness of her actions caused the glass of water on his tray to topple, spilling onto his lap. Musk stood up, visibly startled, as other passengers turned their attention to the commotion. "Who do you think you are?" Jennifer said, her voice rising. "You sit here, building your empires, playing God, while people like me work our lives away, unseen and unheard." Her words were sharp, filled with an intensity that left the cabin in stunned silence. A fellow flight attendant hurried over, trying to intervene. "Jennifer, what are you doing? Stop this right now," she urged, grabbing Jennifer's arm. But Jennifer shook her off, her eyes locked onto Musk. "Do you know how many people you've stepped on to get to where you are?" she continued, her voice trembling with emotion. "You and your billion-dollar dreams. You've forgotten the real world, the people who make it run." Elon, still standing, took a step back, his hands raised in a gesture of calm. "I'm not sure what's going on here," he said, his tone measured, "but I think we should sit down and talk this through." Jennifer let out a bitter laugh. "Talk? You want to talk? Tell that to the people who've lost their jobs because of your automation. Tell that to the workers who can't feed their families while you build rockets to Mars." The tension in the cabin was palpable. Passengers exchanged uneasy glances, unsure of what to do. One of them, a middle-aged man in a business suit, stood up and said, "This is unacceptable. Someone needs to call the captain." At that moment, another flight attendant arrived with the chief purser, who immediately assessed the situation. "Jennifer, step away from the passenger and come with me," the purser said firmly. Jennifer hesitated, her breathing heavy. Finally, she handed the tablet back to Musk, her hands shaking. "I'm sorry," she murmured, though her words lacked conviction. She allowed herself to be led away, leaving behind a room full of stunned passengers. The purser apologized profusely to Elon, who assured them he was unharmed. "I think she's going through something," Musk said quietly. "Maybe she needs help." The rest of the flight continued without incident, though the atmosphere in first class remained tense. Jennifer was confined to the galley for the remainder of the journey, her colleagues taking over her duties. Upon landing in Tokyo, the incident made headlines. Passengers had recorded parts of the confrontation, and the footage quickly went viral. Social media was abuzz with debates about what had happened. Some condemned Jennifer's actions, calling them unprofessional and unacceptable. Others sympathized with her, seeing her as a symbol of the frustrations faced by ordinary workers in an increasingly automated world. Elon Musk, as usual, remained a polarizing figure. While some praised his calm response to the incident, others questioned the ethical implications of his business practices. Jennifer was suspended from her job pending an investigation. In the weeks that followed, her story emerged. She had been struggling with financial difficulties, caring for an ailing parent while working long hours. The pressures of her life had finally boiled over during the flight. Musk, in a surprising move, reached out to her. He invited her for a private meeting, where they discussed her grievances and the broader issues she had raised. After their conversation, Musk announced a new initiative aimed at supporting workers affected by automation, providing training and resources to help them transition to new roles. The incident on Flight 392 became a turning point, sparking a global conversation about the impact of technology on society and the responsibilities of those who drive innovation. For Jennifer, it was a wake-up call. She sought therapy and began rebuilding her life, eventually becoming an advocate for workers' rights. As for Musk, he continued his ambitious pursuits, but with a renewed awareness of the human cost of progress. The confrontation in the skies served as a reminder that even the most powerful individuals are not immune to the struggles of the everyday people who make the world go round. The weeks following the incident saw Jennifer's story becoming a symbol for a larger societal issue. News channels dissected the event from every angle. Opinion pieces flooded the internet, some critical of Jennifer's outburst, while others framed her as the voice of the disenfranchised. A movement began to form, spurred by her story. Workers across various industries started speaking up about their own struggles, fueled by a sense that their concerns were finally being heard. Jennifer herself became a reluctant figurehead for this movement. Initially overwhelmed by the attention, she retreated from the public eye, spending time with her family and seeking counseling. However, as messages of support poured in, she began to realize the importance of her voice. Journalists approached her for interviews, and though she was hesitant, she eventually agreed to share her story. In one particularly candid interview, she explained the depths of her frustration on that fateful flight. It wasn't just about Elon Musk, she said. It was about everything. Working 2 jobs, trying to make ends meet, watching the world change so fast that people like me are left behind. I snapped, and I regret how I handled it, but the feelings were real. Musk, too, found himself at the center of a global dialogue. While he was no stranger to criticism, this incident hit closer to home. In the days following the confrontation, he tweeted, "Sometimes it takes a moment of disruption to remind us of the bigger picture. Listening and adapting are key." The tweet was met with mixed reactions. Some applauded his willingness to engage, while others dismissed it as damage control. True to his word, Musk launched a series of town hall meetings with employees across his companies. These sessions allowed workers to voice their concerns directly to him. While some were skeptical of his intentions, others saw it as a genuine effort to bridge the gap between leadership and the workforce. The initiative Musk had hinted at during his meeting with Jennifer began to take shape. He partnered with nonprofit organizations and educational institutions to create the Future Ready program. This initiative offered free training in emerging technologies, scholarships for underprivileged students, and resources for workers displaced by automation. Musk personally funded the project, dedicating millions of dollars to its development. Meanwhile, Jennifer's journey of self-discovery continued. She attended workshops and seminars on public speaking and advocacy. Encouraged by those around her, she began working with labor organizations to amplify the voices of workers in the service and manufacturing industries. Over time, her confidence grew, and she became a sought-after speaker at conferences and events. One of the most powerful moments came when Jennifer was invited to speak at a global summit on the future of work. Her speech, titled "A Voice from the Ground," resonated with audiences worldwide. She spoke about the dignity of labor, the need for equitable opportunities, and the importance of empathy and leadership. Her words were met with a standing ovation, and even Musk, who was in the audience, was seen applauding. The ripple effects of the Flight 392 incident extended far beyond Jennifer and Musk. Governments began reevaluating their policies on automation and worker displacement. Companies across industries introduced programs to support employee well-being and career development. Activists, inspired by Jennifer's courage, launched campaigns to address income inequality and workplace rights. For Musk, the incident marked a turning point in his leadership style. While his focus remained on innovation and progress, he made a conscious effort to incorporate social responsibility into his ventures. Tesla and SpaceX began offering free upskilling programs for employees and collaborated with unions to ensure fair practices. Musk's public image, though still polarizing, gained a layer of nuance. Years later, Jennifer and Musk crossed paths again at an event celebrating the success of the Future Ready program. By then, Jennifer was a prominent advocate for workers' rights, and Musk had become a vocal proponent of ethical innovation. Their handshake, captured by photographers, symbolized a reconciliation of sorts, a testament to the possibility of change when opposing forces choose dialogue over division. The world moved forward, as it always does, but the lessons from that day on Flight 392 lingered. It was a reminder that even in moments of conflict, there lies an opportunity for growth and understanding. For Jennifer, Musk, and countless others, it was proof that a single moment can spark a movement, change lives, and reshape the future.